Hey everyone, my name is Wes. This is Interactive English. The channel is all about trying to help you practice and improve your English skills. And today is really just trying to help you improve your overall English fluency because we're going to talk about prepositions, those tiny little function words that I think can be confusing for some English learners. And I think prepositions is often where learners may make a small mistake. And in that case, when you make a mistake with prepositions, people still understand what you're trying to say. It's really just a matter of trying to help you speak accurately, which again goes back to improving your overall fluency. I will show you some sentences that are missing prepositions, and I just want you to complete the sentence with whatever preposition you feel is correct. I'll give you a moment to think of an answer, and then of course I will tell you what the answer is. So this is actually a live lesson that I did a while back, and that means some of you may have already seen it, which in that case, it's always good to review. And if you have not seen it, then I just wish you the best of luck on the quiz. Let me know how you did down in the comments below. And let's just begin. And the first question, the first sentence that I have for you is this one right here. I told you we will start with something a bit easier, and then it's going to get a little more difficult as we move on. So it's just a question that somebody might ask if I'm talking to a friend or whoever. If I meet a new class and talk to some students, I might just say, hey, what time do you wake up the morning? We're going to use the preposition in the morning. And this is an example of, I'd say, if you're learning prepositions of time, there are certain rules that you can follow. If you have these periods of time throughout the day, morning, afternoon, evening, you're going to use in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Let's look at the next one. What preposition best completes this sentence? All right. She wore a scarf, her neck. This is an example where I think you could use one of two prepositions. The one that I was looking for, which I gave you in my answer, is around. She wore a scarf around her neck. You could say she wore a scarf on her neck, but I tried to give you that picture because I think when you're talking about something like a scarf, most people are going to use around because of the meaning of the preposition. You're talking about around, you're talking about something that moves along the side of something else and it kind of just goes around it. So a scarf is something you would wear around your neck. But again, if you say on, it's fine. Everybody understands that. So let's go to the next one, all right? I hope you enjoy learning interactive English. Which preposition best completes that statement so that it makes sense, it's easy to understand, and this is a preposition that might commonly follow learning. People would learn with someone. You are doing this thing together, and I'd say, look, I hope you really enjoy learning with interactive English. Here, this is actually a true statement. We're missing two prepositions. Which prepositions would complete this sentence? Again, I think hopefully these are maybe a little easier and they will get more difficult. My birthday is November. This year it's a Thursday. We're talking about a month and then a day. My birthday is in November. This year, it's on a Thursday. So if we're talking about some of these prepositions of time, we use in with months, in January, in October, in November, and on when we're talking about days, on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. All right. Next is this one, which is, well, they're missing two. It's easy for learners to get fed, there's two blanks, prepositions. This is actually a phrasal verb. It's a verb plus a preposition. But in this case, it's a three-word phrasal verb. The answer is yes, you are fed up with. It is a 3-word phrasal verb. You have the verb plus a preposition. When we talk about phrasal verbs, those are other phrasal verbs are also they can be confusing as well. But if somebody is fed up with something, it means that they are annoyed or unhappy, or maybe they're just bored with some situation. The next one is, think about it, there are 2 different people talking. So that's why I've given you A and B. So one person says, "Where are you?" And the other person says, "I'm the gym." He is running on the treadmill and he is the gym. At the gym. And what I wanted to highlight here is this is where the at and in may be some prepositions that people might find a little confusing, because if somebody says at the gym, you're talking about the location. And that location could be in or around some building, office, home. You're talking about that location. In would refer to that you are inside or on the interior. So in this case, you could say, like, "Where are you?" "Oh, I'm in the gym." Or, "Where are you?" "I'm at the gym." Either one is okay, but I'd say it's more common for somebody to use at. Simply because when you're asking the question, "Where are you?" somebody's asking about your location. They want to know where you are at. Now, the next one, we knew the plane would leave time, so we had to run and we just barely made it time. All right. So you may be looking at this and thinking, well, wait, that's a little strange, because both of these prepositions come before the word time. All right. But there's 2 separate, 2 different meanings and 2 different situations that I'm referring to. So we knew the plane would leave time, so we had to run and we just barely made it time. We knew that the plane would leave on time, so we had to run and we just barely made it in time. So I wanted to highlight the difference between on time and in time. So if you say that something is on time, it means that it is done or it happens when it should. Something might arrive on time when it should, or perhaps it's going to leave on time when it should. In time, just you're referring to something that is just early enough, that we finished the project in time. We finished right before it was the deadline, and you finished early enough, you do something in time. This one is an expression, I'd say, well, that people can use sometimes. I'm not sure what we should do. I feel like we're a rock and a hard place. Which preposition would complete that sentence? And again, I told you this is more of, I think, an expression that you may hear from time to time if people are referring to this specific situation, which I'll talk about in just a moment. We're talking about between. I'm not sure what we do, what we should do. I feel like we're between a rock and a hard place. So I told you that this is an expression to be in between, or just between a rock and a hard place. You don't really need to use in there. That you could, but it's more of a typo. The expression is to be between a rock and a hard place, and it means that you're caught in a situation that is difficult because there's no way out. You have a problem on this side, you have a problem on that side, and you'd say you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. So that's a good expression to know. The next one, and this is true. One day, I dream hiking Mount Kilimanjaro. I think I used this in a previous preposition lesson, a preposition quiz that I had. If you saw that one, maybe you remember what preposition that would be a little more appropriate in this case. There are 2 different prepositions that you could use, all right? I chose of. One day I dream of hiking Mount Kilimanjaro. And the reason I chose of, I think when somebody dreams of something, they're talking about something they hope to do in the future, that they wish they could do this. It is interchangeable with about. You could also use about, that's perfectly fine. But I wanted to make a little bit of a distinction between dream of, and dream about. The next one, the audience was captivated, the performance. The word captivated is a key because you often follow this adjective with this specific preposition. You are captivated by something. The audience was captivated by the performance. If you are captivated by something, it really holds your attention and you're really focused on that. So in this case, a performance, everybody's watching it. It's holding their attention. They cannot look away. They are captivated by this thing. Now, the next one is another expression that people might say from time to time, kind of depending on the situation. It's better to ask forgiveness than permission. What preposition is going to complete this saying that people might use? It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. And I told you it's a famous saying because when it's used is like in a situation where you need to act immediately. You need to make a decision, but that decision could cause problems. So you're going to ask for forgiveness and you're going to apologize for it later instead of trying to get approval to do it. How would you complete this sentence? I'm thinking a number between 1 and 10. And this is another one where I feel like people may think that they can use a couple of different prepositions, all right? What do you think? Which preposition would you use to best complete this sentence? If I say, hey, I'm thinking a number between 1 and 10. I'm thinking of something, like I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. But I wanted to highlight the difference between thinking of and thinking about. In this case, I think you're overwhelmingly going to use of if you're telling somebody you want them to guess. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm thinking of an animal. Guess what it is. So if you think of something, it's something that you're not aware of and you have to imagine it. But if you're thinking about something, to me, then you're taking time to consider it. So in this situation where you're asking somebody to imagine something, you're going to use of. This is, it's a great way to practice prepositions because you are reading these prepositions in these sentences. You are listening to me use these prepositions and talk about them, and you are practicing as well. The more you practice, the better I think you're going to understand all of these prepositions and how to use them. And I hope that you learned something new. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great week. I'm going to end it now. I will see you guys next time. So long.